Hey everybody, EchoV here, and just a little over 3 years ago, I made a video talking about my least favorite Pokemon of each type. So naturally, I think it's time to make the opposite, where I talk about my favorite of each type. Now, just like in that video, a few of the Pokemon that will be featured aren't my exact favorite, and that's because I'm gonna save them when I make the inevitable top 10 favorite Pokemon video in the future, so that way, I can still talk about them. Anyways, here we go! Like always, we'll be going in alphabetical order, so starting with the bug type, and for this entry, we have Scyther. Unlike most of the bug types introduced in Gen 1 who are puny and not so threatening, Scyther stands out as one of the few who breaks the mold. It's tall, it's menacing, it has those wicked looking sight blades. Scyther's design just screams threatening. It gives me the same vibes as the Velociraptors from the first Jurassic Park film. I would not want to meet to stay in the dead of the night, knowing that can end me in one fell swoop. And that's why I like it so much. It may not be able to fly, but something tells me that it doesn't need to anyway. Next up is the Dark type, and the first victim to fall from my favorite Pokemon list is Mightyena. Now, the first Pokemon games I ever played were Leaf Green and Sapphire, so naturally, my first exposure to the Dark type was in Hoenn, and the moment I encountered Poochyena for the first time in one of the earliest routes in the game, I knew I wanted it. I was eagerly waiting for it to evolve, and when Mightyena finally came out, I was thrilled. It's not one of the stronger Dark types, sure, but just that cry and the intimidate ability alone was more than enough for me back then, and is still enough for me today. The Dark type is my favorite type in the game, and you can thank Mightyena for starting it. Third is the Dragon typing, and for this one, I'm picking Rayquaza. In my opinion, Generation 3 was the generation where we truly got to see what a Dragon-type Pokemon was meant to look like, with Rayquaza being one of the prime example. As the first Dragon-type legendary, Rayquaza had a lot going for it, and thankfully it succeeded. It's an Eastern Dragon, but it blends so well with the artistic liveries that Pokemon added. Also, shout out to Rayquaza in being the only Pokemon that can Mega Evolve without needing a stupid Mega Stone, allowing it to continue being a lethal powerhouse since it's free to hold anything at once. Better pray that it's not holding a chainsaw, if you know what I mean. While to many, Mewtwo was the end-all be-all legendary boss in Pokemon, for me, it was Rayquaza, so suck it, Mewtwo! Fourth is the Electric type, and for this one, I'm picking Electivire. My fondness for Electivire is pretty recent, to be honest. When I first saw it, I wasn't really impressed. I thought it was unnecessary to add since Electabuzz was already a badass Pokemon to begin with. That was until I watched the Diamond and Pearl anime where it was under the ownership of Paul. Paul, in my opinion, is what a rival in Pokemon should be. Reserved and only caring about winning, and spoke his mind. To him, Ash is just an obstacle and not someone whom he can brag his accomplishments to, and oftentimes begrudgingly show respect to when he earned it. And his Electivire echoes it as well. I like Pokemon with personality, and most rivals' Pokemon were just, well, Pokemon. Paul's Electivire was one of the first to actually feel more than just a Pokemon, which is when I actually started to like Electivire as a Pokemon and hopefully use it one day, which was eventually accomplished in Legends Arceus. Paul is highly regarded as one of the fan base's favorite rivals for Ash, and for good reason, and it's also mine as well. Next is Fairy, and the entry goes to Florges. Remember when the Fairy type was announced? It was a huge deal back then, and no one gave a crap whether or not a tree looked like a tree or a balcony was rendered properly. Those were the good old days. Someone take me back, please. My first playthrough of Pokemon X was more or less blind, save for a few spoilers, so when I saw Flabebe, I was curious what it was going to evolve into. When I finally saw Florges in a random battle, it only made me want to use one even more. It's a fairy type, but can learn a ton of grass type moves without actually having any of the grass type's weaknesses. Plus, not to mention its different flower colors. It's one of my favorite form changes where the change isn't too drastic to the point that it's practically an all new Pokemon altogether. I like them all, but the blue one is definitely my favorite. The Flying type champion for me is Hawlucha. My love for Hawlucha is because I used to be a fan of pro wrestling. Note that I said used to, because these days, wrestling is just so obsessed with telling its viewers that it's all stage, that everybody's buddy behind the scene, and that no one actually gets hurt performing all those and all that yada yada yada. Like, bro, I've known that for years, and honestly, I don't give a dump. I just want to see half-naked people fight for a belt, please. And I know that Hawlucha is based more on Lucha Libre and not American wrestling, but being exposed to the high-flying speed of Rey Mysterio beforehand made me appreciate all kinds of wrestling styles in Persona. So to see Pokemon finally acknowledge wrestling as a fighting style with Hawlucha, along with eventual Mega Evolving leaning more into it, made me appreciate it even more. Sometimes, when it comes to Mega Evolution, less is more, folks. Barring it up for the fire types is Incineroar. Incineroar is yet another wrestling-inspired Pokemon, and being honest, I rank Incineroar slightly higher than Hawlucha, and that's because Incineroar is based on a heel wrestler, aka the bad guys. Growing up, I was always more into villains, and that was because villains always had the cool stuff. The outfits, the gadgets, everything. You really expected young me to cheer for the good guys when you make the villain cooler in every way? Please. Anyway, back to Incineroar. I like the heel wrestlers. Sure, I had a few favorite good guy wrestlers, or faces if you will, but for the most part, I like the heels. The brutality, the dirty playing, and the trash talking, and the fact that Incineroar perfectly emulates it as well with its desire to fight worthy opponents and its fondness for crowd noises. Talk about the perfect performer. Also, it's Z-move, yo. That's all I'm gonna say. Best flying type is Skarmory. While most of the flying types in the game follow the typical suit of birds, anything that flies, or vaguely resembling flying if you really stretch it, but Skarmory is unique for being out there as a metallic, flying bird. What? What is this? What is it based on? I don't know, and I don't care. It's awesome, and you agree me too. Don't you dare lie. Anyway, Skarmory is crazy. I mean, look at its Pokédex entries where it talks about its razor-sharp wings and how it used to be used as weaponry. It's not just any ordinary bird of prey. It's a warrior, and that's pretty dang cool if you ask me, which is why Skarmory is my favorite. My favorite ghost type is Golurk. A glowing Pokemon sounds cool, right? Of course it is, that's why Golurk exists. Now imagine if Golurk can fly. Sounds nuts, right? Well, Game Freak didn't, because they did, and it flies like a rocket. And yes, it's way more awesome than it has any right to. That's it. That's the reason why I like it. Because it flies differently. Oh, you want more? Well, here are the other crazy stuff Golurk can do that's awesome. Turn into a cannon? Check. Rocket firing fist in its Mega? Double check. It's like Game Freak was given an assignment to make Golurk as cool as possible, and they delivered.
Oh, and there comes a giant fish!
My favorite grass type is Lurantis. Of all the Pokemon revealed prior to the release of Sun and Moon, many caught my eye, and one of them was Lurantis. It's a praying mantis, but it's a grass type? Huh? It has its own signature move? Double huh? When did this happen? Why is Game Freak showing love for grass types all of a sudden? I don't really know, but I'm all for it. As soon as I saw Lurantis, I immediately wanted to use one. It takes a while to get there and the process is not fun, but once it evolves, it's all worth it. It's tough and elegant at the exact same time. If you've never used a Lurantis in your life, you're missing out and you should remedy that problem immediately. My favorite ground type is Hippowdon. As a kid, I have always liked the hippo. There is something appealing about a herbivore that has a reputation for being incredibly dangerous. I mean, just look at the hippo. They look like oversized pigs. Oversized pigs that can totally unalive you. Anyway, Hippowdon is a nice take on a hippo Pokemon. Redesigned, but still recognizable. I like the armor-like patch on its back and the holes that are meant to expel sand for attacks. It's a unique take. Additionally, unlike most Pokemon with gender difference where they just change one little thing, Hippowdon's gender difference changes its entire color. While the male is a fitting sandy brown, the female is this amazing black color. I get that gender difference is based on real life, which is totally fine. Seriously, we do not need that fan service garbage. But I would like something unique like Hippowdon's color shades once in a while. My favorite ice type is Baxcalibur. I'll be honest, pseudo-legendaries are in a weird spot for me. It's not that I don't like them, far from it. I mean, have you seen any of these designs? It's just that aside from maybe one or even three designs, they don't appeal to me very much and feel more like a push to win sort of thing, if you get what I'm trying to say. That being said, Baxcalibur appeals to me because both of its dinosaur and Godzilla references. I mean, what can I say? I'm a simple person. If something's based on a dinosaur, I'm all for it. Plus, we need a better ice-type giant since not only did Kyurem never appeal to me, it doesn't have a giant sword on its back. Yet another one of my weaknesses. Cool, giant, weapons. I need a life, guys. My favorite normal type is Cyclizar. If there was ever a Pokemon that I want as a real-life pet or companion, it would be Cyclizar. It's a great mix between its main inspirations being a motorbike and a lizard, and I'm really into biking. I bike a lot. Why walk when I could just bike around everywhere? Seriously, we don't need cars. I'm getting off topic, aren't I? Anyway, unlike a lot of normal types which are, well, normal and plain, Cyclizar isn't normal and plain. It's fun, it's unique, it's a fine organic mix without looking like a chimera, although that would still be cool, not gonna lie. While we never did get to ride Cyclizar in the Scarlet Violet games, and we most likely never will, I'm still clutching for a future Legends game set in Paldea to give us the chance one day. Please, Game Freak, rideable Cyclizar. That is all I need from this franchise. I'm sure everyone else does. My favorite poison type is Nidoking. Okay, technically it's both Nidoking and Nidoqueen, but I want to gush over Nidoking for a bit, alright? Anyways, Nidoking is incredibly versatile. You can pretty much evolve your Nidorino instantly without consequence, since its move pool is insane. You can teach Nidoking all kinds of moves via TM willy-nilly and just commit utter chaos. Secondly, look at him! Look at this design! Nidoking is easily one of Gen 1's best designs. While Game Freak hasn't given love to this design in who knows how long, I do. I still think Nidoking is awesome. My favorite psychic type is Farigiraf. When I was a kid, Farigiraf stood out to me a lot. It's a simple giraffe Pokemon, yes, but its two-tone yellow and black design stood out to me a lot. For years, every time it shows up in a new game, I kept waiting for it to get something, anything new, and it finally did with Farigiraf. Like previously, Farigiraf is a simple giraffe design, but it's designed enough to not only fit as a giraffe evolution, but as yet another giraffe Pokemon. I like how its fur is now orange, and its former tail head thing transforms into a hood for it, but not so much that it looks like it's being eaten by its own weird twin. I'm sure anyone with twins can relate to what I just said. Additionally, it has a new ability which negates priority attacks. It's not much, I know, but helps a lot. My favorite rock type is Aggron. Aggron gets a lot of L's when you think about it. It's not a pseudo-legendary, so its stats, while good, aren't good. It's slow when it comes to leveling up, so racing one is a literal chore at times. It's a steel rock type, so its type effectiveness can be a bit wonky at times. And it's the only Pokemon that Mega Evolves to actually lose a type. Okay, so maybe most of what I stated aren't else to say, but still, it's one of the difficulties I've had to deal with when it came to racing one myself. But in the end, it's oh so worth it, because it hits hard, very fitting of its typing. Also, this thing looks menacing. It's a 3-horned armored dinosaur looking beast, and it's one that you definitely wouldn't want to mess with. My favorite steel type is Revavroom. Unlike a lot of fans out there, I actually like object-based Pokemon. It's where the creativity truly shines in my opinion. That being said, however, I will admit that the idea of having a car Pokemon is a bit weird at first. I mean, how would that even work with the rest of the series? Well, Game Freak somehow made it work, and I love it. It's a steel poison type, but it's like a retro-style possessed car. And you know what? Great job, Game Freak. You managed to exceed my expectations. And last is the water type, and my favorite water type is Gyarados. We all know the story. Magikarp is this Pokemon so weak that even the Pokédex itself hates it for just existing. Kinda like what happens after I talk to a lot of people. But when Magikarp evolves, oh my goodness, it becomes this amazing, long, serpentine, dragon-like monstrosity that looks like the terror of the deep that always scared you from getting into the water as a kid, personified. Gyarados is stupidly weak to electric type, sure, but if you even stall and give it a chance to set up, you're not surviving. I speak from experience both as someone who has used a Gyarados and has faced one. And that's it for this video. This was surprisingly harder to make than its sister video, but I guess it's harder to list your favorites than your dislikes. If there's any favorites that you'd like to share, continue the conversation in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. Or not. I'm not your parent, so I can't exactly tell you what to do. Thanks so much for watching. If it's your birthday today, then happy birthday. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone, be good to each other.